We are charting out the roadmap to phase 3. It would include further relaxation and opening up of activities. For example, in terms of border measures, we can expect further opening up for travel with countries that are safe. Within the community, then we will look at a range of other measures, including the rules around dining, the number of people. The rule is 5 today. We might be able to allow for a higher number, as well as the rule around visitations. Again, that same number 5 applies, and we might be able to allow for a larger number too. We would also look at the rules around various events that are happening. We announced today some relaxation for places of worship, for weddings. So as we embark on this roadmap towards phase 3, some of these measures can also be relaxed to allow multiple zones of 50 greater than what we have today, which is typically around 50 times 2 or 100 people. We could allow for more. So these progressive steps of opening are part of that roadmap towards phase 3, and as I said earlier, we will work through the potential pathway to phase 3, and we will share that with everyone when we are ready, perhaps in a few weeks' time. What's critical and what's very important for all of us to understand is that this progressive trajectory towards continued opening is contingent on all of us doing our part. It's not to be taken for granted, and it's not an automatic progression.
Perhaps add to say that even as we move towards phase 3, you will also realize that from time to time we may need to tighten some of the measures in our safe distancing and safe management measures. For example, the increased frequency of RRT for selected dormitories which has higher risks is one area that we are tightening to make sure that we minimize the risk of big clusters forming. And we may need to do this tweaking as we go along from time to time based on our risk assessment on the various activities and various sectors. So it is not opening all the way. As you put it, it's basically a calibration. A couple of weeks ago, we also tightened in terms of the enforcement of safe distancing in F&B sectors, in the community areas, to make sure that people observe these rules and take these rules seriously. And by doing so, then it will allow us more capacity, more buffer to open up a little bit more, to relax, to ease off the measures a little bit more, and to allow more of the activities to resume. I think it's a balancing between easing the measures as well as tightening where it is necessary.
If you remember, quite a while back when we laid out the 3-phase sort of sequence, we said that getting to phase 3 would in a way be the end of a process, and phase 3 would be a scenario that we are in all the way till a vaccine is available, right? So relaxing of some of these measures that I highlighted, including the rule of 5 for dining and home visits, will be part of the process from now to the subsequent phase 3, right? Eventually, we get to a point where we say this is where we think we are comfortable. Of course, it doesn't mean that phase 3 is static. Even within phase 3, we might be able to consider further liberalization or opening, and a lot of this depends on, for example, the extent of testing that we can get access to. The current methods of testing rely heavily on the gold standard, on the PCR, but there are new methods of testing which are coming to the market, including very fast point-of-care tests, antigen tests. They are not as sensitive as the PCR gold standard, but they could be applied in various use cases that may allow us to open up more activities.